How do you get a candidate to fill in a tech assessment if they don't want to do it? Like these days, candidates don't have time for technical assessments in general, right? Everyone is busy, everyone has lots of opportunities, so they are not really pressed to complete some technical projects or assessments, right? So what I usually do is I first ask them if they have any existing repository on GitHub that I could review, just to get an idea of the code they wrote and the repositories that they contributed to. And as a second step, if they don't have anything, which is quite common by the way, I ask them to complete a technical assessment. And here is what happened yesterday with one candidate for the Android development senior position. So I asked this guy on the phone, like, hey, I would really like you to proceed to the next round, but we would need to see some of your code prior to introducing you to the engineering team. And I asked the person if he actually has code on GitHub. So he said like, hey, no, I don't have any code on GitHub because when I code, I usually need to submit it in a private repository, so there is nothing to actually review in my case, he mentioned. So I was like, okay, well, no worries. This happens quite often. Quite a lot of people work under NDAs and they have nothing to show off on GitHub. That's okay. So the second best option would be for you to complete the technical assessment. And he was like, oh, I don't have time for assessments, I'm busy, this, no, I can go for a call, but I don't have time for assessments. So I was like, there are just two options. First option is the GitHub profile, which you don't have. The second option would be to, show us some code, some code that you wrote, or go through the assessment. But if you have no time, no worries, that's okay. All of us are busy these days. So what we could do, I could arrange the call in technical assessment call, and as a part of the call, you will complete the assessment, okay? And he said, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. Let's do it this way. So, the takeaway from this is that sometimes you just need to repackage something to something else, but essentially it's the same thing as it used to be, right? So, what I did eventually, I just asked him when is he able to hop on the call. He rescheduled in a calendar for 40 minutes or so, and during the call we agreed that I'll share him the assessment. So it's just different perception, right? It's pretty much the same thing. He will go through the same online assessment. It's just presented in a different manner. So he will not click a link and then fill in the assessment individually, but we will hop on a call. I'll ask him 2-3 questions, then I'll send him the link. He will click on the link, and then he will disconnect from the call and he will continue. So it's just different perception, right? But this is what we sometimes need to do, right? We need to be creative as tech recruiters to actually come up with this on the spot while talking to a candidate. So I hope you guys find this tip useful. It's very hands-on. It just happened yesterday, and I thought it could be a great idea to tell you more about it. Oh my gosh, what behind this is this tiger, in front of me is the dog, but she's actually just sleeping, so I should not be so loud. We can just look at her, like she's sleeping here on the sofa, and always I'm just wondering, how am I supposed to be productive and work here if she's just sleeping here all the time, right? Just look at it. Seems like she's not sleeping right now. All right, so I hope you find this tip useful. Let me know, what do you struggle with these days? Can you get candidates to fill in the technical assessments? What's your best practice? Let me know in comments.